Just making a video for the Rheem water heater. It's a pretty common brand, and this is the Honeywell control circuitry. This thing is really interesting because there's no power outlet. There's nowhere that this is getting power. It doesn't have a battery either. So I was like, well, how is that light blinking? How is there electronics in this thing? Well, the way it works is you turn the gas valve on, a little bit of CO2 comes in there, you click that little black square, that creates a spark. That ignites the pilot light. The pilot light then has a special kind of, it's not a thermocoupler, I forget what it's called, but it basically generates a very, very tiny electrical current from the heat of the pilot light. That electrical current goes up these two wires, so like a few hundred millivolts, I think like 400 millivolts, powers the circuit. How crazy is that? So that's a trip. But basically you have to turn this knob into pilot mode. You have to hold it, press it in, because that I think is what actually releases a little bit of gas into the pilot light. While pressing that in, press the square to spark it. Now what was really challenging in my case is I couldn't actually see the spark. Where this glass window is kind of useless. It's actually like way up in there. So I thought my little spark generator thing was broken, and in fact it might have been, because when the first time I clicked it I actually saw a spark right around the plug, which is not what you want to see. It's a little Molex connector deal, a single pin Molex, and you can actually pull it out. Like this side pulls out of the Molex connector. But this thing is just madness because the whole thing relies on the pilot light to work, and yet they have this like very secured glass window. That metal frame does not come off, and you have to undo a ton of screws and pull out this whole thing if your pilot light igniter is not working. It's pretty redonkulous, because if you had a lighter, right, you could just light it yourself with a lighter. So it's one of these things where it's a really cool design, and when it works it's awesome, but when it doesn't work it's really dumb. And anything that blocks a person's access, I don't know. I guess they're doing it for safety reasons, but you know. Anyway, I'm just glad that it's working now. Yay! Blinking blue light.